All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for some real people out there, just like you and just like me. This album is pretty cool. I think I've featured this one time before or had it in the background. This is Houston. Yeah, I know the block lettering. Did they steal that from Boston? Don't know, but it's good marketing. The album is called Four, Houston Four, because it is their fourth album, courtesy of Frontiers Music. Came out late last year, middle to late last year. But, I'm behind the curve and haven't been doing this stuff. So I just wanted to let people see it and check it out. If you like 80s production values, it's a Swedish band and they sound Swedish at times, but they overcome that and they still sound amazing. So the reason I say that is sometimes you can hear that English isn't everybody's first language. Doesn't matter to me. I think the music is fantastic, but super well produced. Kind of just skirts the line between, pop and rock. And sometimes it gets more up tempo and it rocks out a little bit more. There's some great hook lines in this, and I think you'd enjoy it. Houston 4. Check it out, courtesy of Frontiers Music. Now, Steve Augeri is back, ladies and gentlemen, former Journey lead vocalist who unfortunately had to leave the band a number of years ago, but he's been able to go out there and earn a living and do what he loves, which is to sing. And his voice is pretty good these days. There doesn't seem to be a big residual effect from basically what he went through being the lead vocalist of Journey, going from not singing a lot to singing a lot. And then at some point, his voice probably said, no, this isn't what you're supposed to be doing to me. And Steve had to leave, and then he was replaced by Jeff Scott Soto, and then eventually Jeff was replaced by Arnel Pineda. But nobody's going to deny that Steve Augeri was an important element in that bridge that allowed this band to continue. Not only that, Steve Augeri, like I always say, seems to be one of the nicest guys on the planet and in any profession. I mean, if he were just a plumber or an electrician, I'd be like, hey, I want that Augeri guy. He's nice. He does a great job. He does the work on time, and he's just a really decent person to deal with. Well, he's got this new song out, which is a combination of the late, great Eddie Money, Journey, and I would have to put John Waite in there as well. There's a great saxophone part in there. The album that's coming out, by the way, is called 7 Ways Till Sunday. And the saxophone work is by David B. Freeman from the Yacht Rock Review. Would I call this yacht rock? I don't know. I'm thinking if Eddie Money had this song in like 1986, it would have been like a follow-up single to whatever song, after Take Me Home Tonight and I Want to Go Back. I think this would have been the third single. That's if the song was recorded back then. Although Steve Augeri sounds great doing it. I actually commented on the video, which I don't do too often on YouTube. And Steve replied, which I think is pretty cool. I said, this is the best post-Journey song so far. I hear a new album is coming. Eddie Money is smiling down on this one. Great job, Steve A. And he writes back to me, he says, my man, thank you so very much. Truth is, having worked with Eddie on at least a half dozen occasions later on in his career, I froze in my tracks a week ago while shopping in the supermarket in Brooklyn. Man, I never see anybody cool at the supermarket, right? But I could run into Steve Augeri. That would be cool. And he says, when Take Me Home Tonight came on what used to be the Muzak channel, it is kind of weird how the supermarket music has shifted and it has become like all the music I grew up listening to. It's just weird. It shows that we're all getting kind of old. I literally stood motionless, reveling in the performance, hung on every lyric until the end of the song. Needless to say, with a grin from ear to ear. Thanks again for kind words, but more so for reminding me of the larger than life Eddie Money. That is, no kidding, right? No kidding. Just people don't realize just how awesome Eddie Money was. And even when he passed away, I was kind of dumbfounded by, yeah, there were a lot of people paying tribute. I remember Kevin Cronin, REO Speedwagon, they did a thing which they played. I don't know what song they played, probably Take Me Home Tonight, but, or maybe it was Two Tickets to Paradise, which was really cool, obviously. But Eddie was this larger than life character. I got a mystery phone call. I always say back in radio, I got this mystery phone call where, the receptionist traffic person says, "Hey, Eddie Money's on the phone, right?" I'm like, "Sure. Okay, yeah, put him through," right? And we had just made the Love in Your Eyes the #1 song on rock radio that week. And he called to thank us. And he wanted to talk to me because I was the music director. And it was just a crazy experience, telling me about his wife, his family, his vacation plans. Remember him telling me about Richie Zito, who produced, and he was saying all these great things about, "Hey, Richie produces," just as I knew, from the moment, he started talking, I knew it was Eddie Money. So, but let's get back to Steve Augeri. So this song, which is now streaming on both Spotify and over on YouTube, was written, performed, and produced by Steve Augeri. And so he's got a new album coming out, like I stated. So I'm going to be very interested in listening to that. And I'm thinking Steve is probably going to be out on the road touring. But I got to tell you, this is just if you grew up in the 80s listening to Top 40, this song should be on the radio. And Steve sounds amazing, by the way. So you got to check it out. Anyway, love Steve Augeri. He apparently thinks I'm okay, which is good because I've offended a lot of people. So it's good to know that Steve at least likes me. And maybe someday we can have him on the show. I'll have to reach out to his people, or his people can reach out to my people. I'd love to talk to him about the glory days of Journey and just his life in general, and all of the mythology surrounding his career, where he worked at the Gap store. He was a manager for the Gap or something. And he got that famous phone call, and I think it was Neil Sean. And I think he hung up and said, "Shut up," basically, like I did with Eddie Money. Like, yeah, sure. It's not, no, it couldn't be. But it's a great story, and couldn't happen to a nicer guy. And I'm glad he's been able to continue making audiences smile and getting out there and giving it 100% every time. Every performance I've seen him at, he's just so into it, and he believes in music. He loves it, and he lives it. And I guess, he's had a fortunate life to some degree, because he was the guy who was asked to try to fill the shoes of Steve Perry, which is completely impossible, but he rose to the occasion anyway, and he gave it his best shot. So you can't, expect more than that from, anybody in this world. Just give it your best and, make the most of your time. And I think he's doing that. So anyway, that's the video. Thanks for watching. One more time for Houston 4, in case you want to check it out. And yeah, when that Steve Augeri album comes out, I will be in line purchasing that, probably through an online distributor, most likely, but I'll be in a virtual line with everybody else. See you soon, everybody.